When I went to the doctor's office, I thought it's just going to be a short checkup. I just thought I'm just going to be fine, nothing's going to be wrong. And when I got there, I was fine. But then when we were about to leave, Dr. Davis Brown asked us if we had done a urine test, and we had said no. She said, well, do one when you come out the door, so we did. And about 5 minutes later, when we were in the car, she called us back, and she said it was an emergency. And when we got there, she took us to our office, and then we did a blood sugar test. Then she asked us how fast we could get to the emergency room. And my mom said, fast.
Well, I said, could this be anything but type 1 diabetes? And she said it really couldn't. This is probably diabetes, and you need to go to the emergency room right away. When I went in for my checkup with Ryan, and that was August 2011, we had the checkup just like we did every year, and she did all the things, check his blood pressure, take his temperature, and I'm thinking to myself, this is such a waste of time. I come and do this every year, and they never find anything. And we left the office, and I thought, maybe I don't even need to do these checkups. And then we get the call that his blood sugar was high. He wasn't showing any symptoms prior to the diagnosis. There were a couple little things where, looking back, you think, yeah, he probably did have symptoms, and I didn't recognize him as being diabetes. But if we hadn't gone in for that checkup, he could have gotten very, very sick before we even realized what was going on. When the doctor told us that he probably had type 1 diabetes, I just didn't know what that would mean to our family. I didn't know if it meant we would really have to rearrange our eating or our activities. I didn't know if it meant Ryan was going to have a lot of sick days, or that maybe his life would be shortened because of the illness. I just didn't know.
Dr. Davis Brown was very nice when she was telling me. She did not drop it on me, did she not? She did not make it seem like that my life was going to end very soon. She was very nice about it. She knew what she was doing. She knew where I should have gone, and she is now very helpful with my diabetes.
Dr. Davis Brown is a mom as well as a doctor, and I believe she has 5 children, and her kids are about my kids' age, and so we kind of have a connection for that reason, in addition to the fact that she takes great care of all of my kids and me when we have primary care needs. So I really appreciate her thoroughness. I feel like nothing's really routine with her. She often asks questions that I wouldn't expect. She often looks at something from a different angle than I would predict. And then when she does have bad news, like she did that day when Ryan was diagnosed, she takes it in stride.
She doesn't drop it on you. She just says, I know this has been hard. She spaces it out.
Well, yeah, she kind of, she's sensitive to the fact that this is a big deal. I mean, she may diagnose a lot of people with diabetes, but this was the first time we'd been diagnosed with diabetes. And so for her to be so kind and calm about it and not panicking, even though it was important that we get to the emergency room right away, there was no carrying on. It was just, this is what you need to do. Let me know how it goes. And she told us later that she had never diagnosed anyone with diabetes by accident the way she did with Ryan. Usually people come in with symptoms, or even worse, they're taken to the hospital and put in the ICU before they're diagnosed because their body has gotten out of control because of the disease. And in Ryan's case, that wasn't our problem at all. Ours was caught so early, and I think a lot of people discount that urine test. I don't think I even realized what it was for until he had it that day. But these are little tests that are very important, and she knew that, and she took care of us. We have a child with type 1 diabetes, and we have good medical care here in Dayton. We have a wonderful primary care doctor. Even though she's not a diabetes specialist, I feel totally confident calling her with a question that doesn't quite require an endocrinologist's expertise, but really she can handle, she can advise, and I know she can get me the resources I need if I have questions or I need any kind of information. I think that we were just so fortunate that he was diagnosed when he was, because catching the diabetes early meant that we could start treating it early before anything got out of control. And I think that's one reason why he's doing very, very well right now, is he never had a medical crisis per se.